Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the real reason Nick Wright wants the Nets to trade Kyrie Irving for Ben Simmons. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community place you can talk about basketball, chat live during games, and so many other cool things. If you're interested, we have that linked in the comment section below. Anyway, let me get into this video here. So I see you guys see me cracking up already because this video is pretty funny to me. And you know, funny enough, this is a story we wanted to get to a few days ago, but we didn't have a chance to do it given the fact that there were so many other things happening in the NBA that we needed to cover. So I said, okay, let's focus on that. But now, you know, we have a chance to get to it, and I'm already cracking up. I'm just, you know, thinking about it. So we all know the drama in Philly right now with the Philadelphia 76ers and Ben Simmons, right? Ben Simmons has made it clear that he no longer wants to play for that team. He said he's not even going to show up at all. He's like, you guys can dock me my pay. You don't have to pay me, whatever. I'm not showing up, and he's made it crystal clear to that team that he wants them to get rid of him. He wants them to trade him because of what happened in the playoffs last season. He went up there and just, you know, stunk up the joint. He didn't play well at all. We all remember his, you know, unforgettable Game 6 performance against the Atlanta Hawks, where he only took 4 shots, made 2 shots, and we all remember that they were down in that fourth quarter by 2 points, and he had an opportunity to go up and get a wide open layup or dunk, and just went up, faked, passed the ball to Tobias Harris, who had 2 defenders jump on his back, knocked the ball out of bounds. And basically that was the end of the game. And somehow he's been running around blaming everybody for his shortcomings. And you have people like Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley that came out. We did some videos on this where they basically went at Ben Simmons and said, yo, bro, cut it out. You're not that good. Like, you need to get better. Stop pointing fingers, get better. And Charles Barkley said, you know, he's been disappointed in him and all of these different things, right? And while all of this has been happening, various people have been given their suggestions, or their recommendations rather, what they think the Philadelphia 76ers should do. So, of course, Nick Wright himself had to chime in, right, and give us some of his expert, you know, opinion, advice on the matter, and, you know, give us, you know, basically let us know what he thinks, you know, the Philadelphia 76ers need to do. And, you know, Nick Wright, you know, he's a basketball savant. You know, he's known for giving amazing basketball takes, and he has a lot of fans out there that really think that, you know, he's the best probably in the business. So once again, Nick Wright had an opportunity to give us some of his expert opinion on what he feels the Philadelphia 76ers should do. And to my amazement, he thought of something that even I couldn't think of, and he really, you know, he shattered the mold this time around. And so what I want to do before I go forward, I want to play some of what he had to say, his recommendations as to what he thinks the Philadelphia 76ers should do. So before I go too far, take a listen to some of Nick Wright's amazing, insightful recommendations here. Take a listen to this.
Okay, so let's stay there. Nick, yesterday you brought up something kind of interesting, turned all of our heads. You said, how about Ben Simmons for Kyrie? Right? It would work for both teams, 1-for-1. Do you think Joel Embiid would like to play with a guy like Kyrie Irving? That makes his game easier, makes him a little happier?
Oh, yeah. And by the way, NBA players, in large part, even if they think he's, you know, a bit of an oddball, have massive respect for Kyrie's game. Like, I think Kyrie, if we were to do, like, rank the top 50 players in the NBA, and you had a media vote, and then you had a player vote, I think Kyrie, there would probably be the biggest discrepancy. I think Kyrie is a guy that guys that play against him have so much respect for what he does and understands the difficulty of it. And I don't think they care about some of the, you know, his quirkiness, if you will. And I'll say it again. I think if you're the Nets, Ben Simmons is exactly what you need. A guy that can guard all 5 positions, never needs the basketball, can help you in transition. It's perfect. Like, once you got Harden, Kyrie's skill set's a little redundant. The problem is these are not robots, and it's a relationship business more than anything. And Broussard, Katie, and Kyrie, they came there together, and we have no reason to believe that relationship is soured at all. So I don't think it's going to happen because, for a number of reasons, but the biggest one is Kevin Durant, I don't think would allow it. And Kevin Durant's the most influential person in that organization by a mile, as he should be, by the way. But from a basketball perspective, I think, to me, Kyrie is 90% of Dame, and I think Dame would be an amazing fit with Embiid. Their games are different, I understand, but as far as ability and skill level, and I think he fits with Embiid perfectly, and Ben Simmons gives the Nets exactly what they need to go to another level.
Now in that soundbite, what does Nick Wright do? Nick Wright does what he always does. He likes to give this kind of pseudo-intelligent basketball analysis or takes or whatever it is on things, and he comes up with something that no one else would think of. He thinks, just think about this, the Brooklyn Nets should trade Kyrie Irving for Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons gives them exactly what they need. Okay, first of all, who told you that the Nets were in search of a player like Ben? How did the Nets get into this? Number one. Number two, why would the Nets want to get involved with Ben Simmons? But nevertheless, he thinks that the reason they should pull off this trade is because Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving are of equal value. Nick Wright believes that Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving are of equal value. Let me tell you exactly what Nick was trying to do. Nick was trying to be slick, right? And this, and he's able to get it over on a lot of people. And a lot of people will listen to that because I saw the video and it had a pretty good like to dislike ratio. And a lot of people liked it. They're like, oh wow, maybe, you know what? This guy's giving some insightful, he's giving some interesting advice. He has a suit on, he's on TV. So this means he must be smart. He must know what he's talking about. I think he makes a good point. Let me tell you exactly what Nick Wright is trying to do there. Every single basketball analysis with Nick Wright, somehow or some way, always ends up coming back to LeBron, whether if it's direct or indirect. Nick Wright and Shannon Sharpe are the two biggest LeBron James supporters out there, right? This is no secret. Nick Wright, every single thing he does, single thing he talks about when it comes to basketball, somehow has to come back to LeBron James. Like, that's always his angle. Always his angle. Everything somehow has to correlate to LeBron James. We all know that the Brooklyn Nets are the best team in basketball. We all know this. This is a secret to no one. They're the scariest team in the NBA. They're the only team in basketball that has 3 players that are averaging 75 points per game. There's no team in the NBA that has a trio of players that are doing that. There's no team, none, not even one, right? From an offensive standpoint, they are probably the scariest offensive team in basketball history, or at least in the modern era. That's the Brooklyn Nets, right? We all know this. They have the most unstoppable player in all of basketball, which is Kevin Durant is the most unstoppable basketball player in the world today. There's no defense for him. There's nothing you can do with him. A lot of times when Kevin Durant misses shots, it has nothing to do with the defense you're playing on him, right? KD is the most unstoppable player in the world. And when he gets going, there's no stopping him. And if you allow him to play one-on-one, you know what's going to happen? You're going to see a situation like what happened with the Golden State Warriors. Because Kevin Durant is too good to have single coverage on him, throughout a series. He'll cook you. And that's what he's able to do playing alongside Kyrie Irving and James Harden, right? But nevertheless, Nick Wright believes that they should give up Kyrie Irving for who? Ben Simmons. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if the Nets were to ever pull off that trade, they would regress. And Nick Wright knows this. Nick Wright already knows that the team most likely, the team that will most likely stand in the way of LeBron James ever winning another NBA championship is the Brooklyn Nets. He knows that. So what he's going to do is try to give a suggestion that will make the team worse. Therefore, it would make it easier for the Lakers to win. You honestly think that Nick Wright wants the Brooklyn Nets to get better when he is a LeBron James? How does that make sense? But people believe it. People actually thought that he really wants the Nets to get better. He doesn't want the Nets to get better. He wants the Nets to get worse, so the Lakers will have a better chance at winning. That's the only angle in this advice. It has nothing else to do with anything. It makes no sense from a basketball standpoint. People are like, yeah, this makes sense from a basketball. Yeah, it makes sense for the Philadelphia 76ers. Absolutely. It makes no sense for the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets will get worse. Why would you change what you already have when you have the most unstoppable trio in the entire NBA? Now, let me get to another aspect of what he said. He feels as if that they're of equal value. Let me tell you what Nick Wright is actually doing here. What Nick Wright is doing is that Nick Wright is trying to diminish the value of Kyrie Irving in the eyes of the viewing public so that it makes LeBron James look bigger. Essentially what he's trying to do is minimize Kyrie to make LeBron big. That's all he's doing. If Nick Wright can convince people that Kyrie Irving is on the level of a Ben Simmons, then it makes what LeBron did, it makes the accomplishment that LeBron had with the Cleveland Cavaliers even greater. It magnifies it. That's all he's doing. But he's only getting it over on stupid people. We see straight through. That's all he's doing. Let me give you guys a quick comparison. I'm going to read off some numbers to you, and you tell me how you think these two people have equal value, even from a basketball standpoint and from a numbers standpoint. Let me give you Ben Simmons' numbers just last season. Ben Simmons last season averaged 14.3, this is in regular season, 14.3 points per game. He shot 55.7% from the field. He shot 30% from the three. He attempted 0.2 threes per game, and he made 0.1. It's not even one. He probably made 1 3-pointer all last season. He shot 61% from the free throw line, got you 7.2 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 1.6 steals, and 0.6 blocks in 58 games. That's what Ben Simmons got you. Let me read you Kyrie Irving's numbers in 54 games. He averaged 26.9 points per game. Let's just say 27 points per game. He shot 50.6% from the field, 50% from the field as a guard jump shooter, not as a slasher. That it's important to keep that in mind. He shot 40% from the three, attempting 7, making 2.8. 40%. He went 50-40. Then from the free throw line, he shot 92.2%. Kyrie Irving had a 50-40-90 season last season. Do you know how many? Do you know the other players that did that? Larry Bird did it twice. Stephen Curry did it. Kevin Durant did it. Steve Nash did it. Kyrie Irving did it. Do any of those players that I just mentioned on that list, are they on the level, or rather, is Ben Simmons on the level of any of those players I just mentioned? Then he got 4.8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.4 steals. You have got to be on something hot, something warm to think that Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons are of equal value. Nick Wright is just trying to diminish Kyrie Irving because he doesn't like Kyrie Irving. Because Kyrie Irving is stuck up to LeBron. That's all it is. We can play all the games we want. We can do all of the, I know exactly what he's doing. Kyrie Irving is a hell of a player. And if he could think of a way to remove him off of the Brooklyn Nets, make them worse, that's what he'll recommend. Nobody that knows basketball would make such a suggestion. People are talking about, oh, he'll help their defense. Who cares about the Brooklyn Nets defense when you can't stop them offensively? They're going to blow the doors off of you. Like, they're just going to blow you out of the building. The Brooklyn Nets have made it clear. They're not trying to defend you. They're just going to blow you off the floor. And when it comes time to play some decent team defense, they can do it. So him making that suggestion, the only reason he wants that to happen is so the Brooklyn Nets get worse. The Lakers can have a better chance to win the NBA championship, period, point blank. That's all. He doesn't care about the Brooklyn Nets getting better. He just wants to see LeBron win another championship. And if he can accomplish that and at the same time diminish Kyrie Irving, perfect scenario for him. That's all he wants. That's the only reason. This makes no sense whatsoever. That's my opinion. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about that expert analysis and expert recommendation that Nick Wright just gave as far as the to the Philadelphia 76? You think if I was the Brooklyn Nets and Philly called me and you wasn't talking about Joel Embiid, and if I even heard the word this, I'm banging the phone on you. If you just said we want to trade I'm banging the phone on you. Please, ain't nobody trying to hear no nonsense like that. Whatever you guys think, let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.